Morning, Dave.
Morning.
These last few games here, it looks like you're going to try and rotate some guys in that haven't got a chance to play. Is that kind of the game plan? Is this to maybe see some guys that have been out for a while to give them some playing action here?
Just trying to get everybody, make sure everybody's involved here this last little bit. As we go on here, you'll see more of a less fluctuation in the lineup as we move forward after tonight's game.
And when it comes to Connor's playing time, does that him going for that milestone play any part of it at all, or is it just how are you going to kind of play him going down the stretch when it comes to his minutes?
No, we'll continue to play him. He wants to play. He wants to make sure his game's ready for the playoffs. So we'll not overtax him, but we'll make sure we're not going to abnormally hold him out or hold his minutes way down either. You know, there's parts of the game that he wants to work on, and there's parts of our game our team needs to work on. He's a big part of that, so he'll play accordingly, depending on depending how the games go too.
Thanks, Dave.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Yeah, Dave, what is your philosophy? And I'm not sure if you've done it in the past, but let's say a spot is locked up and there's no more room for movement. You guys play a reasonable number of games before the end of the year. Like, have you traditionally rested players in the past, or do you leave it up to them, or how do you handle that?
There's the odd time, depending on some injury bumps, and you might have a guy that's banged up a little bit that would be playing normally, but you might give him a day off. But the days of resting guys don't want days off. They want to keep playing, and you have to keep your team engaged and playing. I'm not a big fan of resting guys and then you think you're just going to pick it up again in playoffs. That's not the way it works. You got to keep your game pushing ahead. You got to, every day you work on your game. You make sure that things are in place for when you go into the playoffs, you feel good about your game. So we're not going to sit here and just rest guys and pull guys out and allow our team to go flat and then try to pick it up again. We're going to keep pushing our group.
Yeah, and on this, McDavid chasing 100 points, you're getting asked a lot of questions about it, understandably so. I mean, Connor's not making a big deal of it. His teammates have said it's important to them. As a coach, do you just sort of not do anything to get in the way of him having the opportunity to do that? And really, there's no reason you would have to get in the way at all?
I'm going to play him. I'm going to play him like normal. He's determined. He wants to be the leader. We're talking about getting our team game in order. He's the leader of that. He wants to keep pushing that way. He knows his responsibility on our team, and he just wants to keep playing. If the 100 points happens, it happens. If not, it's I don't think it's a big deal to him. But our focus on our group is making sure our team game is in order. I'm sure his teammates in there would love to see him, get 100 points. That's just being a good teammate. I mean, those are things that they recognize what Connor does for our team. So. They'd love them to get the 100 point, but our main focus, and I know Connor's main focus, is making sure our team is playing well going to the playoffs.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Dave, is there any chance that Cassian will be ready to start the playoffs?
He's skating. He's skating on his own right now, so we'll continue to monitor it. He's making good progress. I wouldn't say he's ahead of schedule yet, but he's certainly on schedule, and we'll see where it gets to.
Well, is that going to be a concern? Because, like I said, he's not even going to maybe get a game in, and all of a sudden the playoffs are starting, and it's ramped up even more than it would be towards the end of the season.
Well, we're not going to throw him in a position where we're not sure where he's at. He's going to have to be 100% healthy to jump in there and play, and we'll just monitor that, see where he's at come playoff time.
And Cuckoo, can he play a game maybe in Montreal?
He's still. The doctors saw him last week, and he was still a week or 10 days. They did a scan and on his collarbone to see where it was, and they wanted to give it another week or so. So we'll monitor that next week to see where he's at.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Rob Pichkowski, Post Media.
Hey, Dave, just one from me. Does seeing the way Bouchard came in after such a long time off maybe change the way you look at possibly deploying him down the future? Is there a chance that he could play his way into the equation, moving into the playoffs, or is that too much to ask for a young kid who hasn't played?
We'll see. We've liked our three right guys that are there. They've played fairly well, so we'll see where it goes. But these next few games, Bouchard was a regular recall, so he's available to us at any time now, and we'll see how it goes. But our main focus right now is getting our team ramped up that with the lineup that we think is going to play in the playoffs to start with, and barring an injury, I would anticipate the three guys on the right there starting.
Right. Are you, as the season goes, I know I said one, here comes two, but as it goes on, are you seeing like so-called playoff type performers emerge down the stretch here that you look at and see, okay, that's a guy who's going to be there for us when the bullets start flying?
Well, yeah, you have certain expectations of players, and some of it is experience, some of it is just how they're playing now. That we've done a lot of tinkering here the last month or so, and we feel like our team is, we can set up our lineup different ways to kind of maximize what we have. So it's you're always talking about every day, how do you go and win the next game, and that's our focus today. But you're also recognizing that you got to get your team ready for a playoff series. So those are all factors we think about every day.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
There we go. Hi, Dave. I just wanted to piggyback there off of Rob's first question, in particular with Evan Bouchard, but more about the defense as a whole. I mean, how comfortable are you with the depth of this defense? I mean, you have Caleb Jones, who's been in and out of the lineup, who played regularly mostly last year, and all sorts of guys. How comfortable do you feel like if you need to throw some of these guys into the fire in the playoffs that they can handle the job?
I'm very comfortable with them. We've got players that have played a lot of games this year. On the left side, we've got Chris Russell that hopefully will be healthy come playoff time. You got Cuckoo coming back. Lagesson has played enough for us. On the other side, you got Bush. We've got good options back there if we do run into an injury situation. I like our depth on our defense.
And as it pertains to Chris Russell, do you think he can get into some regular season games before the season ends?
We'll see. He's not skating yet. He's going to start skating tomorrow, I think, so we'll see where it goes next week.
Thank you.
Ryan Rashog.
Dave, not sure if you'll clarify for us or not, but what will your third D pair look like tonight? Do you go back to Bouchard, or is there a switch there?
No, Jones and Bear will play tonight.
Okay. And on the goaltenders, because of the compressed schedule, I think there's a chance you'll have some back-to-backs in your playoff series. If that's the case, do you want to keep both goalies engaged right up until the end of the year? Because, it might not be able to be, one guy because of these potential for back-to-backs in the playoffs, which is a little unusual.
We have a plan for our goaltenders the rest of the year, barring any injury or whatever. We have a plan for them and going into the playoffs, and we don't know a playoff schedule yet, so I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do because you don't know, right? But I think we have a plan in place for the rest of the games this year, and keep both guys will be up and running, and they'll both be available in the playoffs.
I don't think you'd tell me even if you did know your playoff schedule, would you?
No, but I don't know it, so I'm good. I'm not lying.
Fair.
I have no idea what it is.
All good.